take 3.
Good morning, Floyd. We're going to ask you a really good question here in a few minutes about gold. But before we get started, as you guys can tell, we don't have any power. So we're going to try to get this video up today. We'll figure something out. In the meantime, how have you been? How did you enjoy that storm last night that took out a lot of people's power?
I went to bed and slept. My phone flashed and said, take cover immediately, da-da-da-da-da. And I went, yeah, okay, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
If it kills me, I'm already in the right position.
Yeah, the only power we got is 2-hour alarm. We're sitting here. We're open. It's really bright outside. We got a lot of nice windows, but it's dark in here, kind of. No lights. But that storm was something else last night. It was crazy.
Hey.
Next door neighbor, which is my wife's mom, their kid had a truck in the yard and a tree fell on it. So yeah, it's kind of sentimental to him, the truck. It was from his dad.
I remember a news broadcast many, many years ago where, the caption for the whole thing started out, I should have put it in the garage.
Floyd, you want to do me a great big favor?
No. Yeah.
We don't have any power,
Okay.
but we have somebody at the door. Can you let them in?
Yes,
You got
I
to
can.
push that button.
Oh, that's Nick.
Yeah, we have no power, so our door is going to remain locked unless we physically go unlock it. Come on in, Nick.
Here, come on.
We're making a video in the dark.
Try to make our Friday morning video.
We're dancing in the dark while we sit.
Here. And I have not gone through this, so you can be first this week.
Oh yeah, you can get in that net box.
do
We
it.
filled it up some more.
We can do it there, or we can move it over and.
Yeah, if you want to move it over here to the light by the windows. Yeah, just bring it and sit it right here, and you should be okay.
You ain't got that
So,
big of pockets. So
yeah,
you
well, I
don't
just-
take too much.
I just made people dizzy because
I
I
know
was
that.
shifting that thing all around.
Angel's gonna edit the daylights out of this one.
You know, Angel wasn't feeling real well this morning, so she stayed home. She said, call me if we get power. I said, I might call you. I said, it just depends on,
Yeah.
how the day's going.
Okay.
So I'm here by myself with all the customers coming in. We got 2 so far, a few minutes after 10. But gold, it May the 5th, I think it was a Tuesday, it touched on $3,500. Today, $3,180.
Okay.
So you're talking the 5th versus, what's today, the 16th? 11 days later, which is probably about 7
Week and a half,
sessions. So 11 days, it is down over $300.
Okay.
So my question that I was going to talk to you about, that I said at the beginning of the video, I got a question for you about gold. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
What do you think the fact that gold has pulled back about people's thoughts, their actions towards it? I mean, they seem kind of timid on gold right now because it's having a pullback. I mean, people are going to take profits, right?
Okay.
Let's hear it.
How much did gold go up the 11 days prior to the 3,500? What was it? 11 days, week and a half before that.
It was about where it is
Where
now.
it is now. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking. Okay. I didn't hear all this complaining as it was going up at that rate. But all of a sudden, it's corrected itself, which it couldn't keep continuing climbing at that speed. Sooner or later, it had to run over itself. So now it's take a little setback. It's still up from a month ago, and everybody's going into sheer panic. Oh, it's going down.
I don't know.
I think it's just correcting itself, just like everything else does every now and then. Your stock market, anything.
I don't-
Your own life. Sometimes you got to back up and reevaluate.
Now, I don't know if it's Newton's law or what it is, but the old adage, the old saying goes, whatever goes up must come down.
There you go.
There's going to be profit taking. I don't think gold is done.
I don't either.
Do you think it's going to go a lot higher?
I
Or?
think what it's going to do is it's going to correct itself, whatever you want to say, recenter itself, da-da-da-da-da. But when everything gets shaken out, and it may take a few more days, it'll start climbing again.
So you think gold's going to climb?
I just hope it don't climb that rapidly again, because then it's going to generate another crash.
Now, talk about markets correcting themselves, resetting themselves. Do you know the stock market in April this year? It dropped so far, on average, I think around the 15%, maybe 20%
okay.
mark, total for the month of April.
Yeah, okay.
That's a correction. It may be a little less than 15% because it's. They say we're just on we're just on the verge of the bear territory. You know, the bulls and the bears.
Yeah.
But it's now May the 18th or 16th, and the stock market's almost back exactly where it was before it started recessing back.
It goes up and down just like everything else, just like life. Life
Now-
gets better and then it gets a little nasty for a little while.
So my question, again, another question for you. Since we witnessed what the stock market did in the month of April, now it's May, and gold is acting similar to what the stocks did last month. Do you think it's going to take as longer, a little less time to get back to the 3,500 mark?
It might, but if it makes a slow climb, normally when it climbs slow like that, it lasts longer. It's these rapid increases that turn around and everybody goes into sheer panic and you can't buy enough because it's going up. And then it makes overall, what kind of percentage did you lose? Okay?
Yeah, from February to February.
Now, let's go from the 5th, when it was so high, to now, okay? You didn't even lose, what, 5%?
No, no, actually, it's down about 7 or 8% from
Okay,
its high.
7 or 8%.
Roughly.
But since the first of the year, it's probably increased 15%, 20%?
At least, yeah.
At
I mean,
least,
I didn't
okay?
do the calculations.
No,
I
but
don't
at
have the
least.
numbers.
What I'm saying is it made a great big jump. Now, it recessed back just a little bit. Okay? What's the panic over? Like I used to tell gentlemen I knew that was always following stock market and da-da-da-da-da. You ain't made nor lost a penny unless you're going to sell it. And if it dropped back 7 or 8% and you panic to sell it, that's your own business, not gold's.
One more question about gold for you. Do you think, whether it was higher 10 days, 11 days ago, and now that it is over $300 lower, do you think people should keep buying gold if they can afford it?
If it was where I could afford it, this is where I would be buying it because I know it's not going to keep falling.
This is where you'd be buying it.
Yeah, I'd be buying it. It's a little lower than it was a week ago. It's going to come back.
You know, and I do that with a lot of things. If it has a 3% or greater pullback, I'll say, oh, okay, it's time to buy a little bit. I don't buy a lot.
Nope.
I just buy a little bit at a time. But every time, and then the next week it goes down another 3%. Guess what? I'm buying
Buy
again.
another 3%.
Yeah,
Because
and when I say 3%, I'm not talking 3% of my worth. I'm talking when it has a dip of 3%, I'll buy more. I might buy, $500, $1,000, or $2,000 worth or whatever, because it's for the shop. But that's one of the ways we make money is buying on the pullbacks.
But let's go back to what you and I both tell everybody with what you invest, what you buy in precious metals, you do what you can afford and do it steady. So if you're buying a certain amount and it makes a little recess and you keep buying that amount, that means you're going to make a little bit extra when it goes back up.
And what do they say about markets, whether it be stock market, the precious metal market?
Everything that comes up must go down.
And then
And
eventually
everything that goes
after
down
the
is gonna
dip, what
come up.
happens? What happens
Comes
after the
back
dip?
up.
There you go.
So why?
Oh, I just kicked the stand.
Ouch! I felt that.
You felt it?
So why? What I'm saying is, why panic? That's like silver. I bought, basically the same amount for a long, long time. Okay, and when it goes down, I still come in and buy the same dollar amount. Get a little more silver on them weeks for my money, but overall, in the last, I've been buying for you, 25, 30 years.
Over 30
Okay,
years.
all right. And I'm still spending, I spend a little more money now because I have to, but I buy the same general amount. Now that same general amount is worth more money. Now, if I'd have panicked when it went down and dumped it, it'd be worth nothing.
a lot of people, they do panic. So I recommend don't panic just because it's easing back. Maybe change your strategy slightly, but don't go selling everything you
Stick
got.
to the same strategy. Buy what you can afford to put away and not think about it. Don't think so much.
So
Sometimes thinking gets you in trouble.
it always gets me in trouble.
Me too. But before we close this, because we ain't got no power, I'm always telling you people about the fun times with giving out Ikes. I got one for you that's not near as much fun. Okay?
Let's hear it.
Walking through the grocery store, I had just given these little ones an Ike. Lady's still talking to me, and another lady comes through with 2 little kids. I said, ma'am, if you don't mind, I have something for your kids. Anything else, I try to give all of them, make them a better day. Well, you ain't got a effing thing they need. Now, that's the downside of doing this, but I don't let it bother me too much. Yes, it bugs me. But you know, and the lady that I just give her kids one is trying to explain to this lady that it's nothing bad. Trust me. Look at the smile on these kids' faces. Okay? But just to let you know, it ain't always good. But I think without power, and before Keith falls asleep because it's dark, we should say goodbye. And I hope this worked to be able to put it on. We'll see you next week. If you like it, let me know. If you don't, change channel.